Hi, how's it going today? Today has been weird for me. We had some tornadoes roll through the region. I bit my tongue, and my knee is killing me because I've been working out. So there's fun in that. But tonight I decided I wanted to cover a subject that I particularly enjoy, the digital comics. I've been reading comic books since I could read, honestly. So, I'm like 41 now. Wow, long time. Longer I've been gaming, longer than I've been doing pretty much anything except breathing and excreting things. And off and on, I've collected them. Now, I say off and on because I had a whole homeless stint for a while there, and I lost a lot of my comics. And it's expensive to buy comics these days. When I was a kid, buying them at the local convenience store, that was different. It was manageable. Now, because they're only sold through the direct market, and it's a small community and small publishing runs and the increased cost of paper and a bunch of other factors, buying comics is expensive. So I started looking to digital to see if it would be cheaper. Also, another factor, moving around the boxes. I've got a bunch of boxes in storage right now. I've got a few here in my room, actually. Physical comics are expensive. They are not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. They are not cheap financially, and they're not cheap in effort. I started looking at digital comics. I will admit to having done the piracy thing. Early on, when I discovered that people had been ripping comics, basically doing scans and putting them up online, this is before there really was much of a legal market for digital comics. I thought, this is the best thing ever. I can go read a bunch of back issues that I could never get a hold of any other way, and read them. And I thought that was cool. And then, I would occasionally get here's all the comics that came out this week, and try and keep up that way. But I generally don't feel comfortable with piracy. Honestly, I don't. I get why people do it. I've done it myself. And now I have a very strict set of rules under which I, do that sort of thing. Mainly, the thing is not available in any convenient fashion. Convenient and legal. But digital comics are convenient and legal now. So I don't do that anymore. Comixology is your best bet when getting into digital comics. They have the largest selection. They have, an easy to read interface. They are on every device. These are key points to them. Also, they have sales. And really, the only time I buy anything on Comixology is when they're having sales, because, it's not the only time. When they sell day and date stuff, they're selling it at full normal price. It's not somehow discounted. I could pay $3 or $4 for the digital comics, or I could pay $3 or $4 for the physical comic. The experience of reading the physical comic is more interesting, and I can do it at work, which I can't do with the digital comics, but that's beside the point. And the whole point for me was also to sort of more affordably be reading my comics. So I started looking at Comixology. Comixology does have the sales. They have all of the publishers, really. Almost pretty much anyone who publishes comics has something on Comixology. And they have sales all the time. They're doing it all the time. The one thing I will get when it's outside of sales is the 99-cent digital exclusive stuff, like DC's Beyond comics, Batman Beyond, Justice League Beyond, all of those. Those I'll pick up when I can afford to pick up a run of those, because they're 99 cents an issue, and they're really enjoyable. They're definitely worth my time. Monkey Brain Comics has a number of them that are 99 cents, and there are a few others. Pardon me. So, it's a good way to pick up some comics for cheap. They often have collections on sale. I think this weekend they were doing a bunch of Image Comics collections and single issues. So yeah, it's a good way to go. You can pick up a lot of comics for relatively cheap, and it's easy to read. The interface is easy to use. The other option, there are a couple of other options, but the other major option, if you're a Marvel fan, is the Marvel Unlimited app. When it started out, the reading on it, the process of reading on it was awful. I mean, it was just terrible. Their interface was buggy as hell. It was hard to navigate. It was just a pain in the butt. Flash forward a little while, though, and they corrected all their problems with the interface, which is an immense improvement. They are now on par with Comixology, with their interface, their ease of use, and they even have a few features that Comixology doesn't. Namely, music sometimes being embedded in some of them, and they have their augmented reality features where you can, like, alright, I'm on this page, I'll click up here and I'll see the video associated with it, that kind of thing, that's embedded in there. And it's subscription, and not per title. It's, I pay a certain amount a month, and I get all I can eat. So, the drawback to that is everything they put up there is 6 months out of date. On Comixology, you can get day and date. Marvel app, everything's 6 months out of date at least. They're still adding stuff from their back catalog in there too. So you will sometimes get, here's a run of stuff that we didn't have before, but now we do. That, is a decade old or something like that. So, there's that. But the all-you-can-eat nature means that as long as it's less than $15 a month, it's absolutely worth it. As compared to, I could buy 3 or possibly 4 comics at a comic shop, or I could spend the same amount of money and get 30, 40 new comics a month reading this. Not to mention the back catalog stuff that I haven't gotten around to reading yet. So, it's definitely worth the time. It's definitely worth reading. So if you like Marvel Comics at all, and really a lot of people do, it's a good way to go. It's also a great way for you to find out about these characters if you don't know about them. Like, occasionally people will be like, who's Thanos? Why is he impressive to all these comic fans who, freaked out at the end of Avengers? Who the hell is this guy? They've got all the relevant comics you need to read about Thanos up there. And you can find out about the character, and you can sort by actually character, characters in this, and this. Oh, okay, well, read that. So, it's definitely a thing worth checking out for research purposes. If you're trying to figure out, who do I, where do I find out about Silver Surfer, or, the characters from Guardians of the Galaxy, they've got this movie coming out, and it's kind of weird because only comic nerds would have known about these characters, 4 or 5 years ago. And now everybody's going to find out about them in the movie, but you might want to see how they got their start and how they became interesting and cool enough to warrant having their own movie. So Marvel's, the Marvel app is definitely good for that. Now, there are a couple of other options for you. CBR and CBZ are formats that are sort of open source comic book reading formats. They are non-DRM'd. And there are a few sources for them. I think Image actually will sell you the comics in CBR format, which I find fascinating, but kind of awesome. There are some comic creators who are selling their individual stuff that way. And actually Comixology recently allowed people to physically back up, well, not physically, but locally back up all of their stuff, that as long as the publisher allowed them to. So, like, if you got it from Monkey Brain Comics or somebody like that, you can locally back up in CBZ or PDF or what have you. Another source, legal, I'm concentrating on the legal, another source for the digital comics in CBR or similar formats is Bundle of Holding, or Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle does their own line of comics, Humble Bundles. And you can pick up a lot of good stuff that way. So, those are options as well. If you're interested in getting, just trades in digital formats, Amazon sells them, Barnes & Noble, Google, all of the major ebook publishers sell them that way. But I did enjoy reading those on the Nook, but if you're going to be getting comics, you might want to go ahead and get them from the traditional comic sources, just so that it's easier for you to, I've hit the end of this, I want to go read more stuff about this character. You can go and look at it that way. Anyway, that's my guide to getting into digital comics, and where to find the best deals on it, and to sort of be a comic nerd on the cheap to a certain extent. So I'm going to wrap this up, and hope everybody enjoys themselves and is staying safe. I know they actually evacuated the call center I work in, so that was fun tonight. And I know other people might have been in hazardous weather in the last few days, so I hope everybody's staying safe. Subscribe, like, share, and I will have something gaming related tomorrow. I'll talk to you later.